a little bit more start their IDA packet first. I don't know what, before we start, I don't know what's going on with my voice. It's been like this for 2 weeks.
That's your,
It gets a little better, it gets a little worse, it gets a little better, it gets a little worse, but I'll push through and we'll be fine. We going? Call to order the board meeting of the Schenectady County Industrial Development Agency this morning. First item of business are our minutes from May 15th, 2024. If I could have a motion in a second, and then we'll discuss whether there's anything we need to change.
So move.
Second. Any discussion on the minutes? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We will move to the treasurer's report, and again, if I can have a motion in a second, we can discuss.
Motion.
Second.
And David, do you want to?
Sure, yeah, not much activity since we met in May. Most of our expenses related to the Waynesburg transaction. We are very excited to see the amount of interest that we've received on our deposits. That's something that we've implemented this year, getting our money into interest-bearing accounts. So that can be used for future project expenses. So any questions, let me know.
Any questions or comments on the
we
treasurer?
did check in with the folks running the line, the old line, Waynesburg. They're doing well. Very happy, moving along. It's been a great asset for the Waynesburg, Princeton, western part of the county. So
Yeah.
it's all good.
Community seems to really have embraced that, so
That's great
that
news.
was a very good outcome.
This interest is new this year.
Yeah,
That's great.
the more money you put in the bank, the more interest you get, right?
Well, there's a new setup.
With,
In the file.
yeah, the interest
In the interest-bearing account check.
Yeah, so anytime, Tony's been doing a pretty good job of only moving money over that we need to utilize into our checking account and keeping everything else in what's called the IntraFi, which it actually provides us FDIC protections by, how many different banks? Hundreds of different banks that participate to move the money into all the different places that keep us under the limits there.
Good. And just let the record show that board member Evan Christo has joined us.
Thanks, Evan.
So at this point, hearing no further questions or discussions on the treasurer's report, all in favor of accepting signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Our next item is resolution 55824. And this is consent to easement and related actions in the Scotia Industrial Park for the CTDI project, the latest CTDI project. So if I can have a motion, a second on that.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Discussion.
Yeah, so this is really related to the Chippy project that we've talked about quite a few times. The CTDI facility owned by the Gillespie Group had to release a small parcel to accommodate the easements, a small area to accommodate the easements. When they were looking to move to closing, that they found out that their description of the property had an error that they needed to correct. So we need to approve the minor correction. So
This is a resolution to approve the minor correction to the description of the CDTI site.
What was the error?
what was the error?
It was just a minor call. I think it was, south to north, should have been north.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And that one has the easement.
Yeah, it has the easement, authorizes the easement and the release of the parcel.
Right. Any further discussion?
Just an aside, so CDDI, they have 20,000 employees in the world. We recruited them to the county. They built a 150,000 square foot building in Glenville. Then they added a 100,000 square foot building. They're leasing 150,000 in Glenville. And they just leased 200,000 in Rotterdam, building 17 at the Rotterdam Corporate Park. So they've been a great addition to the community. One of the reasons we were able to land them was the first project. We went from handshake to shovel in the ground in 29 days, and we followed all the procedures and regulations. But we had a great team working with the town, and that's really paid off for us because they've had just one expansion after another. And the Chippy project, we worked through some issues, like any big project, but basically this is an organization that is doing $100 million worth of construction in the county, and it's going to pay us full taxes on $70 million, and it's an underground power line that services New York City. So it's like landing a $70 million factory that pays 100% taxes. It's just really a great addition to the school district and the town budgets and the county budget. So we're happy to bring this forward and make this small change so that they can buy this property. Correct? They want to buy it.
Yeah, you're correct. They buy a small parcel and then they have an easement through the CTDI to be able to access the parcel.
Great, thank you.
By and large, the chippy right of way is railroads and underwater anyway, but
Mhm.
some of it
Yeah,
is
had a few issues, but we worked through them. They
Oh,
were very responsive.
all good. So all in favor of resolution 55824, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Moves us to agenda page, but I think it's
Yeah, United
resolution
Suites.
55924, United Suites at Washington Square. And this is consent to refinance. So if we have a motion in a second, we'll get the details.
I'll move.
Second.
Very good.
Yeah, and, one of the more important projects that started the renaissance over in the Lower State Street neighborhood. 2011, the agency approved the 112,000 square foot, 264 bed college suite apartment. United Group out of Troy is the owner. They're looking to refinance the project with Chemung Canal Trust Company. This motion is to ratify the signing. There was some time sensitivity to it, so we did it, and we're looking for the consent of the board.
Just talked to the DI development yesterday. They were just named the biggest developer in the region by Capital District Business Review. They have 91% occupancy heading into the fall. We structured this student housing with no liability to the county, other than the county making the property available that the county had cleaned up where there was a horrible gas station there years ago.
Wonderful gas station.
Some other communities have had issues as enrollment has declined where they were stuck pulling the bag for student housing debt. We avoided all that by having this done by a private developer, and with enrollment going up at SUNY Schenectady, they're at 91%, and they also are painting the building right now. And then we're also painting Schaefer Heights. If you've been by Schaefer Heights, it's so much better.
You didn't like the pink?
Salmon.
Salmon. I'm sorry, it was pink.
Salmon or pink, but it looks so much better.
It does.
And so we thank United Group for making these investments, and it's a good, solid refinance to Chemung. So
It's actually going, I noticed that on my way down this morning. I was actually going to comment on it, but it does look a lot better. So any questions, further questions on the refinancing United Suites? This is the Washington Square project. Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And where are we now? We're at our budget.
Yeah, 2025 budget resolution 56024.
Motion and second, and then we should talk about the budget
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
and discussion.
Yeah, so we are bringing this in anticipation. This could be our last meeting before we are to submit the budget to the ABO. Right now, we're not anticipating much activity in 2025. That could obviously change as projects come up. In the past, we've had whether they're energy projects, other things throughout the county. We're holding the revenue line at $25,000. That with not much of revenue, you'll see very little in the way of expenses, typical audit fees. Forecast, we did just update the forecast to, excuse me, that was the CRC, my mistake. But you'll see our legal fees will come down again. Most of that was related to the closing of the Y. Let me know if there's any questions, nothing that's out of the ordinary for next year's budget.
Thank you. We have adequate resources on hand if something does materialize.
Yeah, that's correct.
Love seeing those interest numbers again.
That is nice.
Yeah, interest rates should come down, which would be good for our other side of our business, right? But again, we're really, really happy to, the way having run the land bank for so long, I always count it in how many blighted homes you can take down just through interest, and that's one single family home, or on our way to 1 2-family or commercial building with that.
Absolutely. Well, we have a motion and a second. If there are any further questions or comments on the budget? Hearing none, all in favor of adopting the budget?
Aye.
By saying aye. Aye. And that brings us to other business. Do we have any other business?
Good.
No other business.
Move to adjourn?
Second. I have a second.
Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye. We are adjourned. We will now convene the board meeting of the Schenectady County Capital Resource Corporation. And a motion, a second, if we could please, to discuss our minutes.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
And any discussion, questions, comments? Looked at the minutes, they seem to be in order. Hearing none, all in favor of accepting the minutes, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion, second, if we could, on our treasurer's report.
I'll move.
Second.
And David, you want to?
Yeah, great year with the union
discuss with us?
transaction, $168,000 fee. That was primarily for them to move forward with their lease commitment with the event center, which if you've been down Erie Boulevard recently, you'll see what a transformative project that will be to complete Mohawk Harbor. Fees to Metroplex were paid out of that, out of the agreement, and we have a net operating revenue of $171,000 through August 31st, 2024. And interest on deposits continue to grow, and we don't anticipate too much more activity through the end of the year.
I just want to thank David and Amanda for, everybody's, these are complicated transactions. And we were looking for a CRC project, as a group, and buck up the treasury, and we got one, and it's great for the community, great for union. They're doing work on campus as well as the arena. And the arena's underway and looks great, so thank you. I know it's a lot of hours. Tony and everyone involved, thank you.
Yeah, we really should track the time over here next to the dollars. But we don't.
Amanda does.
Yeah. Okay, that's good to know. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor of accepting the treasurer's report, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
That brings us to resolution 26024, which is our 2027 fiscal year project.
2025 budget.
25.
Yep.
A little ahead of yourself there, Mr. Chairman.
I know. Wishful thinking.
The budget is presented. We did update the forecast to represent what you just saw in the treasurer's report of the revenue we received, $168,000 management fees. So those are just corrections to match the treasurer's report. But the 2025 budget, again, holding our numbers consistent with the past $25,000 in revenue. $7,500 is our typical management fee for Metroplex to run the organization. And then we'll continue to hopefully see some good interest on deposits. Sims, yes. The one other item that it's an expense that we assist the county for our mapping software, $16,000. Important for CRC, for all the organizations. We push that among the different parties, the IDAs, Metroplex, again, who has the resources. It's the CRC's time, and happy to consider putting that in the budget for 2025.
I didn't know we did that. Interesting.
All the municipalities contribute to that, so the cost of the county is very minimal. It's a great system. It's available to the public. There's not a day goes by we don't have to just ask Mark Story for an aerial of data on the property.
Yeah.
How many wetlands, what's the sewer connection? It's a very robust system. It gets like 1 million hits a year. It's a very well used.
If we had a GIS professional here, it would cost us much more money, and has access to finding property owners, ties it into the clerk's records, and it's just simple to use, which is nice.
Excellent. Any other questions or comments on the budget? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Do we have a first and a motion? I need a motion in a second.
Oh, did we not? I thought we did. Oh, well, before we vote, can we have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Very good. Now, can we vote?
I'm in favor.
Signify by saying aye. Sorry about that. Oh, that came a little bit this morning. Any other business to come before the CRC?
Yeah, thanks for your time.
Hearing none, we have a
Move to
motion
adjourn.
and a second.
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Later.
Thank